The words landed like a sledgehammer. Thomas Markle Jr. stared directly into the camera, his eyes filled with anger as he sent a chilling message to Meghan Markle. "You will not get within 20 feet of my dad. I can promise you that." This wasn't just a casual threat, it was a bold declaration of war from a brother who had witnessed his sister abandon their father for 7 long years. And now, with Thomas Markle Sr. fighting for his life in a hospital in the Philippines, his son, Thomas Markle Jr., has drawn a line Meghan Markle may never be able to cross. The timing couldn't be worse for the Duchess of Sussex. Just hours after the release of her Netflix special With Love, Meghan, which received disastrous reviews, it was reported that her father had undergone emergency surgery. Doctors had to amputate his leg, and they warned the family that his condition was critical. While Thomas Sr. lay in intensive care, uncertain of his future, Meghan was busy posting clips on Instagram and letting her PR team craft carefully worded non-responses. But Thomas Jr. wasn't having any of it. In a now-deleted YouTube video that sent shockwaves across social media, he expressed years of frustration with his sister. "This is the hardcore truth," he said. "This is how it is going down." His message was clear. Meghan had 7 years to pick up the phone, to send a real message, to show some humanity toward the father who sacrificed so much to give her the life she now flaunts in Montecito. Yet, every time, she chose silence. What makes Junior's outburst even more powerful is not just the fury behind it, but the credibility of his words. He has been in the Philippines caring for his father since January. He was there during an earthquake that shook their building. He's the one who's been changing bandages, managing medications, and sitting by his father's side, all while Meghan posed for Netflix cameras thousands of miles away. Junior has earned the right to be his father's protector, and he made it clear that Meghan's PR stunts would no longer be tolerated. The contrast is staggering. On one side, you have a son who dropped everything to care for his ailing father. On the other, you have a daughter who has become a millionaire but can't spare a moment for a simple phone call. Junior's words were blunt. "You are a lying scumbag who does not deserve anything except what you're getting right now in the press." Harsh, but understandable when you consider the years of suffering Thomas Sr. has endured. Heart attacks, strokes that left him unable to speak, forcing him to use a whiteboard to communicate, and an earthquake that shook his building to its core. But nothing could have prepared him for the moment doctors told him that his leg had to be amputated to save his life. The blood clot was so large that surgeons at Cebu Hospital faced an impossible decision: amputate the leg or risk the infection spreading and causing sepsis, which could lead to certain death. Dr. Neil Sonoro, the surgeon who performed the operation, explained to the Daily Mail that amputation was the only option. The situation surrounding Thomas Markle Sr. is nothing short of tragic, and the way Meghan Markle has handled it is raising eyebrows. As her father, now 79, faces one of his greatest health crises, undergoing emergency surgery and losing a leg to a blood clot, Meghan's response has been anything but compassionate. While Thomas Jr. has been by his father's side in the Philippines, caring for him through heart attacks, strokes, and even an earthquake, Meghan, who is now a wealthy, high-profile celebrity, has offered nothing but PR stunts. The timing couldn't be worse for Meghan. Just hours after the disastrous reviews for her Netflix special With Love, Meghan, news broke about her father's critical condition. Yet Meghan's reaction was cold and calculated. While her father fought for his life in intensive care, her social media posts were nothing more than curated content. The most she could muster was a vague, non-committal statement about reaching out to her father. But, as it was later revealed, that reach out was an email sent to an outdated address Thomas hadn't used in over 5 years. When pressed for further details, Meghan's team responded with the excuse that they assumed the email had been received because it didn't bounce back. To make matters worse, Thomas Sr. confirmed that he had not heard from his daughter. He hadn't received any calls or emails. The lack of effort on Meghan's part became glaringly obvious when the Daily Mail reported on the situation. Meghan's PR stunt had been exposed for what it truly was, a move to check a box, not an actual attempt to reconnect with her father. Thomas Jr., furious at his sister's neglect, made a passionate statement condemning Meghan for her treatment of their father. He demanded she stop using PR tricks and instead show real care and attention. In an even more suspicious turn of events, just as this news unfolded, U.S. consular agents were sent to Thomas Markle Sr.'s hospital room. The officials, who had no connection to Thomas Jr. or anyone else in the family, seemed to have been dispatched by someone with connections. Meghan Markle, known for her PR savvy, may have orchestrated this welfare check under the guise of concern. With all the resources at her disposal, private jets, celebrity connections, and vast wealth, she chose to send embassy officials instead of showing up in person to support her father. The implications are chilling. Instead of offering a personal, heartfelt gesture, Meghan reportedly opted to perform a public relations move that involved government officials, making a spectacle of her concern. Thomas Jr. did not take kindly to this, calling out Meghan's actions and demanding she stop using diplomatic channels to pretend care for their father. His reaction is understandable, considering the emotional and physical toll his father has been enduring, toll that Meghan, by all accounts, has shown little concern for. The contrasting behavior of the Markle siblings could not be starker. One has been present, caring for their father in their time of need, while Meghan's actions continue to expose her lack of authenticity and care. The contrast in their approaches to family and public life is clear, and for many, it only reinforces the growing sentiment that Meghan's public persona is nothing but a carefully constructed illusion. Thomas Markle Jr.'s video, which YouTube eventually removed for violating community guidelines, struck with an intensity that left many stunned. With raw anger, he confronted Meghan Markle, calling her out for years of abandonment.
Meghan, while you're busy with your flower sprinkles and pixie dust, looking like you're on some kind of medication in all your videos, you look like a psychopath, he declared, his words filled with genuine anguish. He wasn't performing for attention. This was a brother, heartbroken and furious, seeing his father struggle while his famous sister continued to live in a bubble of curated PR content. Jr. didn't stop there. He also lashed out at Meghan's Sussex squad, accusing them of being a criminal organization responsible for harassment and death threats against the Markle family. He even went as far as claiming that Meghan paid people to attack anyone who criticized her, mentioning home invasions and coordinated attacks. Whether these claims can be proven or not, the emotion behind them was undeniable. But perhaps the most cutting moment was when Jr. addressed Meghan directly about her PR stunts. "You've had 7 years to pick up the phone," he said, bluntly. "You've had his phone number for 15 years, and you haven't reached out, you haven't texted, you haven't called." The simplicity of the statement was damning. A phone number doesn't change, but the silence from Meghan was deafening. While Jr. later apologized for his language, he stood by every accusation, doubling down on his anger. His message was clear: nobody likes you. I personally hate you, and the majority of the world hates you. The exhaustion in his voice reflected a man who had spent months caring for his sick father without any help from his wealthy sister, while Meghan continued her PR campaign from Montecito. As the PR nightmare surrounding Meghan intensified, fate dealt her another crushing blow. Her Netflix special, With Love, Meghan, which she hoped would restore her image, was met with disastrous reviews and failed to make any significant impact on the charts. Meanwhile, her father, Thomas Markle Sr., was fighting for his life in a hospital, undergoing emergency surgery for a leg amputation. The optics were disastrous. While Meghan filmed segments about family values, her actual family member was struggling in a foreign hospital. But instead of reaching out to her father, Meghan's response was to continue sharing curated PR content, ignoring the crisis unfolding in her own family. When her PR team spun a narrative about her reaching out, the truth was far more insulting. Meghan had allegedly sent an email to an old address that her father hadn't used in years. No phone calls, no messages, just a cold, impersonal email. Even after this, Meghan's team sent government officials to Thomas's hospital room to do a welfare check, which many saw as another PR stunt to cover up her lack of genuine concern. While Meghan may have thought she could manage the narrative, her family, especially her brother, Thomas Jr., was exposing the truth. Samantha Markle, Thomas's half-sister, has also been vocal in calling out Meghan's behavior, using social media to expose the hypocrisy of Meghan's PR efforts. Samantha's relentless campaign has shed light on Meghan's treatment of their father, showing a stark contrast between the two sisters. While Meghan hides behind PR teams and publicists, Samantha has taken the direct, no-holds-barred approach to hold Meghan accountable for her actions. As Thomas Markle Sr. continues to fight for his life, the public is increasingly seeing through Meghan's carefully crafted public image. Her PR stunts, from vague statements to government visits, have only fueled the perception that Meghan is more interested in managing her image than in being a daughter to a father who desperately needs her. The contrast between Meghan's public persona and her actual behavior couldn't be clearer. And as the world watches, it seems that the walls are closing in on her once glamorous image. Levin warned that Meghan would struggle to handle a direct interaction with her father, suggesting that she simply wouldn't know how to approach him. According to her, Meghan's difficulty in confronting genuine emotion could make any interaction between them harmful. Kinsey was just as blunt, criticizing the timeline of events. She pointed out the absurdity of Meghan's actions, releasing "With Love, Meghan," followed by Prince Harry appearing on The Colbert Show while Thomas Markle's medical crisis unfolded. Rather than reaching out to her father, Meghan's team questioned the validity of the news, as if verifying the authenticity of his health status was more important than offering compassion. This reaction was telling. Rather than expressing genuine concern, Meghan's team appeared more focused on controlling the narrative. Schofield emphasized how Meghan's approach had backfired. If she did eventually fly to the Philippines to visit her father, it would be seen as nothing more than a PR stunt, an attempt to salvage her image. The real opportunity for genuine action passed years ago, and now anything Meghan does will be seen as a calculated move. Throughout this drama, her two young children, Archie and Lilibet, remain unaware of their grandfather's existence. Despite the technology that could easily allow Meghan to facilitate a connection, she has chosen not to. While Meghan's life continues to play out in the public eye, her father, Thomas Markle Sr., faces his biggest challenge yet, living with the heartache of not knowing if he will ever meet his grandchildren. Thomas Sr. had worked tirelessly throughout his life, sacrificing to give Meghan the opportunities she now enjoys. Yet now, as he faces life-altering surgery and a long recovery, his own daughter has left him behind. He has expressed hope for reconciliation, not for himself, but for the grandchildren he has never met and the family connections they will never experience. His plea for peace, hoping that the family might be brought back together before it's too late, highlights the tragedy that Meghan's refusal to reconnect with him has caused. While Harry talks of family trauma and the need to protect his children from pain, he allows his wife's refusal to engage with her own father to keep the children from knowing one entire side of their family. The physical wounds that Thomas faces may heal, but the emotional scars inflicted by this estrangement could last a lifetime. Months of rehabilitation lie ahead for Thomas Markle Sr. He will have to learn to walk with a prosthetic limb, adjust to a body that will never feel the same again, and deal with the phantom sensations of a leg that no longer exists. All of this will unfold in a high-rise apartment in the Philippines, far from the world-class medical care that his wealthy daughter could easily provide. The logistics alone are overwhelming. Thomas Jr. has been his primary caregiver, but even the most devoted son has his limits. A man recovering from amputation needs round-the-clock care, physical therapy, medical equipment, and possibly a full-time nurse. The apartment where Thomas lives has floors that will become significantly harder to navigate without two working legs. Will he need to relocate? Who will cover the expenses? These answers aren't coming from Montecito. Thomas Jr. has made his stance clear. He will protect his father at all costs. He will stay in the Philippines for as long as it takes and ensure that Meghan's PR team can't swoop in at the last minute to claim credit for a reconciliation that never took place. Zero access, zero mercy. Those are the terms. For weeks, speculation has surrounded whether Meghan will eventually make an appearance. Some believe she'll wait until the media pressure becomes too much, then stage a carefully orchestrated visit to rehabilitate her image. Others believe she has already written her father off, just as she portrayed him in her Netflix documentary, speaking of him as though he had already passed. Meghan, the woman who constantly preaches about compassion, may simply lack the capacity for it when the cameras aren't rolling. Royal experts have suggested what Meghan should do if she has any decency left. Get on a private jet, fly to the Philippines, bring her children, Thomas's grandchildren, so he can finally see their faces before it's too late. Use her wealth and connections to arrange for top-tier medical care for her father. But with every passing day, it becomes clear that none of this will happen. The haunting question that everyone is left asking is simple yet devastating. What kind of person abandons their dying father? What kind of daughter builds a brand around family values while her own family falls apart? What kind of mother denies her children the chance to know their grandfather? The answers reveal a harsh truth that no amount of PR can erase. Thomas Markle Sr. longed for his family to be whole again. Instead, now he lies in a hospital bed, missing a leg, and grieving for a daughter who has never truly been there for him. Meanwhile, in Montecito, Meghan Markle is likely already planning her next photo opportunity, oblivious to the destruction she has caused. Drop your thoughts below. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is coming, and you won't believe what's next.